Hi guys, so welcome back. Everything that we draw around us starts with either a cube, a cylinder, a cone, or a sphere. What we really have to do is learn how to decipher between what is in front of us and what particular mass we are seeing. We want to draw things that look three-dimensional, and here I'm just drawing a regular cube, but I'm showing you what a cube would look like if we were to cut out a little section of it. We have to understand how volume works, and we also have to understand that all our lines must be parallel to each other. That includes all ellipses. So for this video, I am drawing in pencil, and then I am going to highlight or outline with a marker so you can see it a bit clearer, whatever my intention is. So we're going to draw a few objects. Draw with me. Let's go. So the first object I want us to look at is this bottle, this glass bottle. And what I want you to pay attention to is the ellipses that happen at the top as well as the bottom, because the bottle is clear. The bottle looks like a cylinder. It's a cylinder and it gets narrow. The cylinder gets narrow on top. And this is another cylinder on top here. So I'm starting this off with a cylinder that represents 2/3 of the bottle. Once I have that laid down, I'm then going to draw another cylinder that will represent 1/3 of the bottle. And on top of that, I'm going to draw a smaller cylinder to represent the cap. Make sure that all of your ellipses are the same size. So when you observe the bottle, you notice that the top third of the bottle tapers at the sides into the larger portion, or the larger 2/3 at the base. So that's what I'm doing here. I also notice that the neck of the bottle is a lot skinnier than the cap. So I therefore have to adjust the size of the cap in relation to the neck of the bottle. When you are looking at your objects, pay attention to the detail. I'm putting in the label, just an outline of the label, which also has an ellipse that's being shown. Note that the photo I took is a different angle than the actual image, the actual object sitting in front of me on the table. So the angles are a bit off. Outline in black, and then I'm done. Let's come back to this spray bottle. What shapes do you see on this spray bottle? The base from here to here is a cylinder. From here to here, it looks like a cone, but it really is just a cylinder that gets narrower. And then on top here, I would just call this sort of a flat cube. This is another cylinder. This is a triangle. Simple shapes. So let's try this and see. So I'm starting off by measuring the size that I want the entire bottle to fit. Because I have limited space, I have to know what I'm doing from before. I can't just go drawing a cylinder and then end up not being able to fit the entire spray bottle on the page. We have to consider proportion. And remember that proportion is the size relationship of one object to another. So I've decided where I want the top of my spray bottle to be. I've decided where I want the more solid part of the cylinder to end. I've also decided where I want the part that gets smaller or more narrow, or the neck, to be, because it is just a little shorter than the base. Then I'm going to include the ellipse, or a smaller cylinder that represents that red screw-on part of the spray bottle. I'm just touching up the cylinders because the ellipses, because they all have to match. Then I'm going to draw a square to represent the top of the spray bottle, which I will then use as my base to add some extra detail, or take away or add detail. So at the back, it looks like a triangle, so I'm drawing that in. At the front, it's a square that has a little piece taken off, so I just took off that little piece. Then I'm going to draw the triangle that represents the trigger. And then we have that cylinder for the nozzle. So we have a basic outline here. And now I'm going to just finesse it so that we can add some detail. So I'm following along using contour lines just as I am seeing. I noticed that with the triggers, there's 3 little indentations to make your finger fit comfortably on it. Also notice that it stops short. So I'm going around adding all the additional detail, paying attention to what I see. And then I am going to trace this with my black marker. And then I'm done. All right, so let's try something a little more difficult. Here we have a sphere, but what you notice is it's actually a really flat cylinder. You're seeing that? It's a cylinder. Then we have the 2 circles, or 3 circles. No, it's 2 circles for the feet. And then on top here, we have half a sphere here, half a sphere here. And then we have a cylinder going across the top, and another little cylinder there. So look at it carefully. All right, let's try this and see. So I'm starting off with a circle, and I noticed that based on the angle that I have this clock, it seems as though there are 2 circles overlapping each other. Then I'm going to put this circle that represents the top, those 2 top areas that make the noise, that make that clanging noise. And I'm going to add that skinny cylinder on top. Look at how easily we have this outline. So now I have to give that half a circle shape for that little knob that makes the alarm noise. So again, just putting in some detail. There's a little cylinder as well next to that arch. At the end of that arch, I believe that guess, attaches these two semicircles to the base. Just gonna put in the time. As you know, the picture was taken at a separate time and I'm not using the picture as my reference. I'm leaving the picture there for you to have as a reference, but I'm looking at the object directly on the table in front of me. So I'm filling in the black, and then I'm going to be finished. Guys, what I want for you to take away from today is how simple all the objects around you are. Every single object around you is simple. All you need to do is break it down into a cylinder, a sphere, a cone, or a cube. Once you realize what each object is made of, then you can turn them into a three-dimensional form on your flat paper.